Give the expert. Dear Papa, please give me some advice. My friend got involved in trouble, but it's not her fault. She didn't get any apology. She's very sad. I don't know what I can do for her. Maybe some caviar might make her lose all the bad memories. Finally, congratulations on 500k. It's a good question. So what you're saying is that she made a mistake. Oh, so people thought she made a mistake, but it wasn't her fault, and no one apologized to her, and so she's feeling upset. That's really rough. First of all, to her, you know, if she's a kindred as well, I'd like to say that whoever that person is, I'm really sorry you're going through that. Sometimes when you get into altercations with people, sometimes there really is no winning. And that's all right, you know? I think it's difficult to sort of... Ike! Ike! Where are you? Is that Ike? Is that my boy? Oh, I think he went off the end of the chat. I can't see him. Oh no. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that in some instances, it's really difficult to kind of get the right response you want out of people. People sort of react to really intense personal situations in wildly different ways, and for some people can be agreeable, where you might sit them down for a talk and say like, hey, you know, that really wasn't okay, and then they'll be like, hey, absolutely, yeah, I understand. Whereas some people might wind up being stubborn and disagreeable. They might be a little bit vindictive even, you know, they might sort of take offense to you trying to make things right, and people will differ from person to person based on their experiences. I guess what I'm trying to say is that for that person, it's really, really good that they have you. Because sometimes when you feel like people think you've done something you haven't actually done, it can sort of get to a point where you don't feel like you have a lot of people to rely on. You know, you're not sure who you can trust, but I think it's good that they have you. So the best piece of advice I can give is to... You don't all... Sometimes, I think an important distinction that some people make mistakes with is that they don't know, which is a completely reasonable mistake to make, they don't know the difference between advice and emotional support. And it's important to know which one is best for each occasion. It sounds like right now, if you don't know what advice to give, emotional support might be the right thing to do. And I'll give you a few tips, right, on how to emotionally support someone, because apparently I'm kind of good at this, so I'll try and pass on my knowledge. One of my favorite ways of getting somebody over a bad situation is like, sometimes someone's going through something that is just shit, and there is nothing that can be done. Maybe they got fucked over on a job interview. Maybe they just had a really shit day. They got yelled at by somebody and it affected them in a bad way. Maybe this, maybe that. There are so many things that can just lead someone to having a bad day. My favorite thing to do is to encourage them to practice self-care. And even better, to practice self-care with them, right? So if you know the person well enough, one thing that you can do is try to think about something that they really enjoy doing, and to encourage them to kind of forget about their responsibilities for a little bit and to just spend maybe just an hour or so doing something they really like. So one of my favorite things to do is takeout, delivery, food. Food makes everything better. Food heals all wounds. No matter how cranky or no matter how upset someone is, a nice hearty meal, in my opinion at least, and this isn't true for everybody because some people suffer from conditions which means that eating food can be difficult, but of course there are different solutions for those people as well. In the vast majority of cases, if you know a person and you know that they don't suffer from any kind of ED or something similar, food is a really, really good way of treating them. Send out for delivery, or cook something for them as well. Sit them down, and then once you've got the food, turn something on the TV, help them relax. If you guys are online friends, maybe send them a little bit of money to get some food for themselves, and then you guys can watch a movie over Discord or something like that. There's a lot of things that you can do to really help a person. And then of course, maybe if food doesn't make them happy, you know, maybe if a problem is related to an ED, then maybe you can do something different. Maybe you can encourage them to maybe ask them what their favorite game is. I mean, I know that You know, when some friends of mine are feeling upset, like think about Reimu. She always seems to be in a tizzy, doesn't she? Always seems to be upset or angry about something. You know, you go on Twitter and she's like, I don't want to do solo Apex rank anymore, or something like that. And she's screaming her head off. So the way that I like to help Reimu is to play Apex with her, right? And then she feels better. There are simple little ways that you can get inside someone's head and that, well, that sounds bad. There are simple little ways that you can comfort someone's head and that you can make them feel a little bit more relaxed, down to earth, and to forget about what it is that's making them feel sad. So in your instance, what I would say is just forget about trying to solve their problems overnight, because in some instances that just won't happen. The best thing that you can do is make them feel like they've got someone to rely on. Make them feel like that you're a reliable person who stood in their corner ready to fight for them, and that when in downtime, when you're not talking to anybody, when it's just you two, try and sort things out in a way that just makes you happy, okay? I think that that's a pretty nice way of sorting things out. So that's my advice. Hopefully that helps.